A lot of times as we were growing up, we would become worried about something, and especially the kids in our family, about what was going to happen, or just spending a lot of time worrying about it. And my mom would say, 100 years from now, it won't make a bit of difference. And she had the gift of wisdom to be able to recognize that, and you couldn't really argue with her, because 100 years from now, she wouldn't be here, neither will we. Oftentimes, looking back on those times, we realized it didn't even take 100 years for it to not matter, maybe even 5 years, maybe even just a few days. It wasn't as important anymore. As we come to the end of this liturgical year in our church calendar, we just have 3 more weeks, we also see in the readings it starts to focus on the end times, reflecting on the end of the world when Christ will return. We're still awaiting that time, and also the end of our lives when each of us, our lives will come to the end and Christ will come in a specific way. We profess in the Creed, He will come again in glory to judge the living and the dead, and His kingdom will have no end. And we have a description of that second coming of Jesus in the second reading today from the letter to the Thessalonians. All who have fallen asleep will rise from the dead and live again. And those who are still alive when Jesus returns will be caught up in the air to meet Jesus. And St. Paul says, so that you may not grieve like the rest who have no hope. I tell you this. This is told to us over and over again to help us to continue to hold on to hope. If we look around in the world today, we see many places where there is a lack of hope, where there is discouragement or depression or doubt or even despair, as we see acts of violence increasing more and more, and think, how is this all going to end? What's going to happen? Well, the truth is, we already know the end of the story. We know the end of history. Jesus is victorious over evil and death. The evil one is defeated and thrown into the pool of fire. Right now, it seems like evil is winning in the world, but we know that's not the truth. Jesus is victorious. And the temptation, though, is to think, why bother to do good or share faith with others when it will seem like evil will win out in the end? But that is just a temptation. It's not what the Lord is saying to us. The Catechism of the Catholic Church has a section on the end times, and it says, just like Jesus went through suffering and death, and it seemed like all was lost, so will the church before the end. So we think of the disciples on the road to Emmaus. They have given up hope. They're walking back to their hometown. They're leaving Jerusalem. They said, we were hoping that He would be the one to redeem Israel, but obviously that's not going to happen now because He died. It's all come to an end. And Jesus says to them, how foolish you are, how slow to believe all that was spoken of in the prophets. Was it not necessary that the Messiah should suffer and so enter into His glory? In other words, it was part of God's plan unfolding, that in the moment it seems like this can't be God's plan, but yet it really was, and the Lord foreknew it ahead of time and told us about it through the prophets, through the scriptures. And so Jesus explained all the scriptures to them, how the death of Jesus and His resurrection, it all fit together, and it's directed toward the salvation of souls. Just as at the end of the world, it will all be shown to us how all these things that happen that is hard for us to understand or seem like tragedies or meaningless will all fit together and be part of God's plan that leads us to our salvation. We have the sacraments of healing that the Lord has given to us, and there's different kinds of woundedness that we can experience. There's not just physical illness that we can be healed from, but also emotional, psychological, relational healing. Our relationships can be wounded, and spiritual healing. All these things can be healed by Christ. and we have the sacrament of penance or reconciliation that heals us in a spiritual way, that restores us to the gift of hope and faith and wisdom. So the Catechism says, before Christ's second coming, the church must pass through a final trial that will shake the faith of many believers. The church will enter the glory of the kingdom only through this final Passover, when she will follow her Lord in his death and resurrection. The kingdom will be fulfilled only by God's victory over the final unleashing of evil, which will cause his bride to come down from heaven. In this parable, the wise virgins had oil to spare, which was their relationship with God, their faith, their hope. They held on to it even when it seemed like the bridegroom wasn't coming. So let us not be like those who have no hope, but rather hold fast to the truth that Jesus is victorious in the end.